Hey, Celtics Nation, welcome back. Tonight, we are diving deep into a game that showcased not only the talent of our star players, but also the critical contributions of the role players who have been quietly elevating this team. Jaylen Brown has been nothing short of phenomenal lately, demonstrating a skill that could extend his career well into his 30s. Watching him operate on the court, you see a player who doesn't rely solely on athleticism, but on an incredible awareness of angles and timing. He's mastered the art of drawing fouls on jump shots in a way that doesn't require him to dominate physically at the rim. The technique is subtle but highly effective. He lowers his body, positions his shoulder precisely against the defender, senses their arm as they brace themselves, and at that exact moment, he rises, goes through the contact, and finishes the shot. It's not an easy skill to develop, requiring both patience and acute awareness. And it's the kind of move that can keep a player productive long after their explosive athleticism starts to fade. What's remarkable about Jaylen is that he's applying this skill seamlessly in live games, and it's already changing the dynamic of how defenses have to approach him. If defenders begin to fear contesting his jump shots because he consistently draws contact, it opens up opportunities for pump fakes, passes, and a host of offensive possibilities. That level of understanding is what separates elite players from good players. Even in games where he's slightly hampered by injuries, like recent issues with his hamstring and past knee concerns, he still finds ways to control the game and contribute to scoring efficiently without forcing plays. In the most recent matchup, the first quarter was a tough start for the Celtics. They allowed far too many points, and the energy just wasn't there. But Jaylen Brown immediately changed the trajectory, scoring 16 points in that opening period. That performance alone prevented the team from digging an even deeper hole, which could have been disastrous given how porous the defense looked early. From that point, the Celtics began to recover, turning what looked like a shaky start into a commanding position by halftime. The second quarter was a complete turnaround, with the team combining aggressive defense and smart offensive execution to pull ahead in a way that showcased their depth. It wasn't just Jaylen who was impressive. The contributions from role players like Josh Minott, Nish Kata, and Jordan Walsh were critical. Each of them brought energy, precision, and timing that transformed the flow of the game. Jordan Walsh, for example, came in and immediately shifted the defensive presence, securing rebounds, contesting shots, and energizing the squad. That kind of impact is what earns players minutes at this level, and it emphasizes how vital these secondary contributors are to the team's success. Nish Kata responded brilliantly to defensive challenges, excelling in pick-and-roll situations and maintaining strong positioning on both ends of the court. His game was a perfect blend of scoring, playmaking, and defensive awareness, finishing with impressive numbers that demonstrated his growing importance to the Celtic structure. Josh Minott also had a career-high performance, showing why he deserves a consistent spot in the starting rotation. His ability to move without the ball, cut for lobs, and hit timely threes added another layer to the Celtics' offensive arsenal. When he's feeling confident, the team's spacing improves drastically, allowing stars like Jaylen and Peyton to operate with more freedom and efficiency. Derek White played a quieter but equally impactful game, recording solid assist numbers, grabbing rebounds, and contributing on the defensive end with steals and blocks. His shooter's rolls and timing on jumpers have been a noticeable improvement, adding an extra dimension to the offense. Collectively, the role players provided a level of balance and versatility that allowed the Celtics to navigate through early deficits and establish control of the game. The synergy between stars and supporting players is becoming more apparent, and when everyone is engaged and executing, the team's potential is nearly unstoppable. What also stood out was how the team adjusted to early mistakes, particularly on defense. The first quarter's lapses, including excessive second-chance points allowed, could have set a negative tone, but the coaching adjustments and in-game awareness by players like Jaylen, Kata, and Walsh helped flip the script. The ability to recognize mismatches, capitalize on defensive rebounds, and transition quickly into offense highlighted both their preparation and adaptability. This is the kind of cohesive performance that gives fans confidence that even when the starters face challenges, the team as a whole can respond effectively. The combination of veteran leadership, young talent stepping up, and a coaching staff making timely decisions has created a dynamic environment where the Celtics are capable of overcoming rough starts and maintaining consistency throughout the game. Continuing from where we left off, the way the Celtics built momentum after that shaky first quarter was remarkable. It was clear that the energy and focus shifted, and the role players stepped into their moments with precision. When you watch Nish Kata operate in pick-and-roll scenarios, you see someone who isn't just playing within the system, but actively creating advantages. He sets strong screens, rolls with purpose, and reads the defense in real time. That awareness turns ordinary plays into high-percentage opportunities, both for himself and for teammates. His offensive rebounds, shot selection, and defensive positioning created openings that were exploited beautifully by the likes of Jalen and Minott. Josh Minott's movement without the ball became even more valuable in this context. Watching him cut to the basket or sprint into open lanes for lobs added layers of unpredictability that defenses struggled to adjust to. When he finds rhythm, particularly from beyond the arc, the spacing stretches defenses, opening up lanes for drives and passing angles that otherwise wouldn't exist. This level of contribution from role players is exactly what allows a team like the Celtics to function as more than the sum of its stars. Derek White, on the other hand, exemplified consistency and efficiency. While he didn't explode with points, his presence on both ends of the floor was undeniable. He hit the soft jumpers that he had been missing early in the season, distributed the ball effectively, and played with defensive awareness that prevented easy buckets. His timing on steals and blocks disrupted opposing offenses, and even his modest scoring output translated into meaningful moments that swung momentum. The combination of his subtle yet impactful play and the bigger scoring burst from Jaylen Brown created a balance that made the Celtics incredibly difficult to contain once they found their stride. This dynamic demonstrates why basketball is such a team-oriented game. The stars get the headlines, but the contributions of players like Minott, Kata, and White directly influence the outcome and often set the tone for how the game unfolds. What also cannot be understated is the mental fortitude displayed by the Celtics. Recovering from a poor start, particularly in a game where the first quarter gave away too many points and allowed the opposition easy second-chance opportunities, required composure and focus. Jalen's leadership on the floor, combined with the strategic adjustments by the coaching staff, allowed the team to execute a near-perfect second quarter and beyond. The defense became more disciplined, rotations quicker, and communication sharper. It's in these moments that you see a team's character revealed. Even when facing adversity, the Celtics showed patience and resilience, systematically erasing deficits and building a lead that became increasingly difficult for the opposition to challenge. This speaks not only to talent, but to preparation, both in terms of scouting and in-game adaptation. As the game progressed, it became evident that the Celtics' success was no accident. Every player stepping in contributed to an intricate chain reaction. When Kata made a strong cut or secured a rebound, it often led to a quick transition play that either resulted in points or forced the opposing defense to scramble. Minott's shooting spread the floor and created opportunities for drives and kickouts, while Jalen's ability to read defenders and exploit contact for foul opportunities maintained offensive pressure. Derek White's court vision and defensive intelligence ensured that the team could capitalize on every misstep by the opponent. The cohesion among these players illustrates the evolving culture within the team, one where talent is maximized through awareness, timing, and a shared understanding of each other's strengths. Furthermore, the way the Celtics maintained their lead in the second half highlighted their strategic maturity. They didn't merely rely on individual talent, but executed plays that demonstrated trust and understanding of spacing, timing, and rhythm. When Jalen engaged defenders, Kata was ready to roll. When Minott moved into position for a three, the floor opened for White or other teammates to capitalize. Even when starters needed rest, the bench stepped up seamlessly, ensuring that the pace and efficiency of the offense remained high. This depth of execution is particularly impressive given that the team faced multiple challenges in prior games. The ability to translate practice principles into game-time performance, especially under pressure, separates good teams from championship-caliber squads. Finally, the significance of this performance goes beyond a single game. It reflects the trajectory of the Celtics this season, a team that has combined veteran leadership, emerging role players, and elite talent to create a balanced and dynamic roster. Jaylen Brown's growth as a player who can leverage skill, awareness, and efficiency over pure athleticism is central to this evolution. Simultaneously, the contributions from Minot, Kata, Walsh, and White highlight the importance of role players who not only complement the stars, but also shape the flow and outcomes of games. The team's ability to recover from early setbacks, adjust in real time, and execute with precision speaks volumes about their cohesion, coaching, and readiness for the challenges ahead. The Celtics are not just winning games. They're building a system where every player has a role, every play has purpose, and every contribution counts towards sustained success. What's particularly impressive about this group is their ability to elevate each other's game. When one player performs at a high level, it creates opportunities for others to excel, and that positive feedback loop was evident on both ends of the floor. The way Jaylen manipulated defenses opened lanes for Kata and Minot, while White's distribution and floor awareness ensured that scoring chances were maximized. Simultaneously, defensive contributions from the bench helped maintain leads and minimize opponent runs, highlighting that Boston is not relying solely on its stars, but is leveraging its depth to sustain performance throughout the game. This balance of star power and supporting cast creates a dynamic where the team can adapt to various scenarios, whether overcoming deficits or protecting a lead, and it is this adaptability that positions them as a strong contender as the season progresses. The overarching narrative is clear. This Celtics team is evolving into a unit where every player knows their role, understands their strengths, and contributes to a collective vision of excellence. With coaching that maximizes talent, role players who seize their moments, and stars who elevate their teammates, the team is building momentum not just in wins, but in identity. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In what could be the most shocking twist of the NBA offseason, whispers from inside the league suggest that Kevin Durant, one of the game's most prolific scorers, has agreed to join the Boston Celtics. The news, still unofficial but circulating wildly on social media, has sent shockwaves through the NBA world. Celtics fans are reportedly ecstatic, while rival teams are scrambling to make sense of what could be a seismic shift in the league's balance of power. Sources say the deal, if finalized, would reunite Durant with the Eastern Conference after years of high-profile stints in Brooklyn and Phoenix. The thought of Durant donning the green and white is already fueling fevered speculation. How will he fit alongside Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown? Can Boston's already potent offense become unstoppable with Durant's scoring prowess and versatility? Coaches and analysts alike are diving into hypothetical scenarios, trying to imagine rotations and pick-and-roll dynamics that could vault the Celtics into immediate championship contention. The timing of this leak only adds to the drama. With the offseason just heating up, rumors like this tend to set the internet ablaze. Fans are debating fiercely on forums and Twitter threads, some skeptical that Durant would make such a move, others convinced that the lure of Boston's historic franchise and passionate fan base could be irresistible. Even veteran NBA insiders are hedging their bets, noting that Durant has always been unpredictable when it comes to free agency decisions. While nothing is officially confirmed, the mere possibility of Durant in Boston is enough to dominate sports talk shows and podcasts. Rival front offices are reportedly reviewing contingency plans, aware that Durant's arrival could instantly make the Celtics title favorites. From coast to coast, the NBA landscape feels poised for upheaval. Whether this turns out to be a leak with legs or just another off-season tease, one thing is clear. The rumor of Kevin Durant joining the Celtics has already sent shockwaves that the league won't soon forget. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.